So today we're installing a 85-inch Sony TV with the left and right stereo speakers with a center channel built into them from Artison. And there are some tricky things to this installation. We're also using this sliding bracket from Future Automation, which works pretty well. One good thing to note is you want to use the sliding or some kind of pull-out bracket for an installation with these speakers. And anytime you have a sound bar or any kind of speakers mounted to the TV, you want to have a pull-out bracket for service and maintenance. Just makes it a lot easier to get to everything behind, even if you're not using the pull-out feature actively after the installation. Tricky part of this installation that is important, you can kind of see it here off to the left of the bracket. These little plastic spacers go behind the sound or speaker bracket in between the TV and the bracket, and that allows for these guys to slide freely in the channel here, even once you've tightened down your mounting bolt. So that's important, because if you don't put those in, you tighten that down, these guys are just going to bind up. You can't slide them anymore. Another important thing about that, and one of the only pages that I used out of this manual, is this this table here, which tells you the configuration the arm needs to be in based off the depth of your TV. So this TV here was about 2 7/8 inches deep, which put me kind of right between 4 and 5. So that tells me that my slider arm position needs to be facing forward, or what they consider to be forward, which would be what you see in figure 3 with that little L bracket piece turned towards the front of the TV, as opposed to facing behind the TV or towards the wall. So that was the main bit of information I used from the manual. Other than that, I think the rest of it's pretty straightforward, as long as you know to use your spacers and what depth bolts to use and all that. Let's see. Other than that, as far as the sound brackets go, just make sure they're centered up on the TV more or less, left and right. I don't think they have to be 100% perfect, but as long as you're within like an inch or so, you can get all the travel that you need to get all the way to the outside of the TV. At some point we'll be adding braces with a double stick adhesive that will hold these extensions in place and keep them from wobbling around. So I think that's all there is to know about that, really. And TV bracket, this Future Automation bracket, good thing to know is it ships bolted in a tighter configuration, so that it fits in. So probably just a decreased shipping costs, but you just need to know you need to pull these nuts. These rails get flipped around to the configuration they're in now, and then you tighten the bolts back, and that gives you some adjustability with your TV mounting pattern. So what I did here is I just slid the bracket all the way up so I can make sure I just bottom out in the mounting channels here, which hopefully ensures that my bracket is 100% square with the TV, and that as long as my wall side of my TV mount comes out level, the TV should come out level as well. But that doesn't always happen that way, so hopefully it does. Let's see, what else is there to know about that? I guess it's worth noting that the bolts are passing through TV bracket, through the soundbar, or not soundbar, speaker bracket, and through the spacer underneath. There's actually another one of these spacers just off to the side here. I just decided to include multiples just to get some more breathing room. Other than that, I guess there's the wall side of the mount. Just a short story on this. This is actually 3 pieces. This is the wall mount version. There's also a recessed version that looks a lot different than this. So with this version, you find the way that they suggest doing is finding the distance from the top of your TV to the top of your TV bracket, which is this distance here, from here to here, essentially. If you'd mock that up with the wall side bracket all put together on the TV, it's a little easier to measure. It's not exactly in line with this rail, it's maybe just short of that. So you can find out positionally on the wall where the top of your TV is.
Went the wrong way.
You can find out where the top of your TV is. You take your dimension from top of your TV to the top of your wall bracket. You can mount that first rail up. Obviously get it centered left and right where you want it. Make sure it's level. And then there are 2 Allen screws to attach the sliding arm here. You can see those 2 screws here and here. So you can get that first bar mounted, place the sliding arm mechanism in a centered position, tighten these bolts up, and then you'll have that bar hanging, or this sliding arm portion of the bracket hanging. Once you've got that, then you can attach the bottom bar to the sliding arm portion, get that more or less centered up, identical to the top as far as your left and right goes, and then you're free to just mount it straight into the studs, which presumably it's going to line up with, because you already lined up your top bar. And that's pretty much all there is to that.